Star Wars geek girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.
Hi, this is Zoe from Star Wars Geek Girl, and as usual, I'm here with Lizzy.
Hello.
And this week we are going to talk about the Ewok movies, which we talked about not last week. We had, busyness last week. But last time we podcasted, we talked with Eric Walker, who plays. Do you hear that?
I do. What is happening?
Those are my neighbors.
You okay, Zoe?
They're just always like this. It's
fine.
Yeah, so we talked with Eric Walker, Mace Tawani from those movies, and that was fun. So check that out. But now we're just gonna kind of talk about the movies like themselves, like less of like an interview thing that we did last week.
Yes.
Yes.
So overall, what did you think? I mean, I asked last time, but overall, what did you think?
liked him a lot. I was like I was a little bit apprehensive just because like the only, I don't know how to explain it. Like the only like live action Star Wars movies I've seen from that like time period, I guess, was like the holiday special. And like I knew it wasn't going to be the holiday special, but I was still a little apprehensive just based on prior experience.
Yeah.
But I liked them a lot. They're really cute and really dark.
Ever so slightly. I thought it was when I was little, I got scared of a few scenes. When I went back to watch it, and I like for the first one, I was like, oh no, there's a giant spider. I don't know if Zoe can handle that. For the first one.
Yeah.
But
so the first one, if you haven't seen it, which they're on Disney Plus, which hopefully you have, because you'll be able to watch. If you have Disney Plus, you'll be able to watch Bad Batch next week. So hopefully you'll have that, so you can keep up with us when we talk about that for the next however many months it runs. It's supposed to run at least 14 episodes, is what I heard. So that's like gonna carry us pretty much through the summer, which is good. Oh, your dad's streaming Battlefront too. Just got a notification. I watched him play Sims yesterday, and his play style stresses me out because he'll like, and like it's The Sims, so it's not stressful, but like he lets his guy's hunger get all the way down to red before he feeds him. I'm just like, feed your guy, Sal.
Yeah, he's not very good at like those kind of games. I think that's like the first like game he's played that's like you have to take care of something. It's not just like a go to a dungeon and beat the boss and do this and upgrades and stuff like that. So he's new. He's new. It's
learning.
Okay.
He's learning. He got to hang out with
learning. He's learning.
It's a shame that he doesn't have it on computer, because then he could just set cheats so he doesn't have to take care of it. And then just
see, even if he did have it on the computer, he would get mad at you and say that's cheating.
It's The Sims. It doesn't matter. Just give yourself a bunch of. Also, his dude's really broke. Like, no money. I think he just like, because like in The Sims, you're supposed to give your guy like a job, and they go to the job, and that's how they get money. But I don't think he has a job. He just goes to Galaxy's Edge and hangs out. So like he doesn't have money. It's kind of funny.
So how does he go to Galaxy's Edge?
So you like, I mean, it's not like real life where like you pay a bunch of money and go to Galaxy's Edge. Like you can just kind of go on your phone and be like, I want to go to Galaxy's Edge. And then do that. So but yeah, that was fun to watch yesterday. Just his guy.
Yeah. Well, he's trying his best.
He's learning.
You know? He is learning.
Yeah.
Okay, but the Ewok movies.
Yeah. Yes. So you grew up with them. I only saw them for the first time a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago now, but I like them a lot.
I forgot they existed for a while because, like, I would see them every once in a while, and then like I would ask people, "Did you watch the Ewok movies?" And they're like, "The what?" And I'm like, "Oh, no one watched the Ewok movies. Not a lot of people have watched the Ewok movie. That's sad." So like I couldn't talk to anyone but like Axel and my dad about the Ewok movies. But then over time I like forgot about them. And that yeah. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm really glad that you were able to watch them because I think they're neat. They might not make any sense
They
sometimes.
make sense.
Oh, yeah.
They, I mean, George Lucas is a little bit of a madman, but like in a great way. So
Yeah.
like
That's true. You're right.
he's great.
I guess I just who is your favorite character? There's only like 2 right answers.
Just two. Well, I mean Wicket, I guess, because Wicket's
Yes.
the best, but also Sindel. I think she's so cute and
She's
tiny.
adorable.
So
She's
snuggle
so
her.
small. She's all grown up and she's older than us. But like
Yeah. Well, yeah.
she's adorable.
When she was tiny baby, she's very, very cute.
Yes, very adorable, very small. Her name, the name Sindel is really cute too. But yeah, I had a small itty bitty crush on Mace when I was
Which
small.
we didn't talk about last week or last time.
No, and I'm really glad that you did not talk about
Like that was the first thing you said when I told you we got him on the show. And I was like, man, I could make this the most awkward podcast in the world.
You really could. You could have. And I'm really glad that you refrained yourself.
Restrained. Close.
Refrained.
Restrained.
Refrain.
Refrained.
No, it's really late. I am sorry. My brain is not okay. But yeah.
Or no, actually, refrain. Apparently, refrain does mean that too. I just googled it. It does.
That's what I thought.
I only ever heard it in music, but it does mean that as well. So you are right. I'm sorry for being a jerk.
Okay, that's good. How dare you? It's okay. Yes, I am glad you refrained/restrained yourself from saying that, because I also like you said, oh, we have the here we're gonna have Eric Walker, and I was like, oh, that means they're gonna like meet him as an adult, but like
ruin the image of the eternal child.
Yeah, because like I was a small child when it's okay. But I had fun. He seemed nice. And then the Ewoks. The Ewoks are great. And did you see the baby Ewok?
Yes, baby.
Like the itty bitty baby.
Itty.
There's a small one.
Tiny.
Because they were talking about how worried they were to go on the mission, and then they showed baby. I thought that was really nice. It's just a very small baby.
This movie. One thing I also liked about this movie was like most of the animals were just like regular animals. Like there was just like a straight up like rabbit and like a ferret, and like they rode horses.
Yeah.
Like regular horses.
I didn't know what a ferret was when I was little, so I thought that was Star Wars. And then I saw it in real life, and I was like, "That's in Star Wars."
That's what they used to do with like in like old movies. They used to do that with like certain like lizards and stuff, like because people didn't know what they were. And if you watch like old like Dracula, I think there's armadillos, because like pre like internet, I guess no one knew what an armadillo was. So like, well, let's just throw these funky things, make them walk around,
Funky. Yes. I think armadillos are great. Yeah, but yeah, I did really like that there were just normal little animals around.
Yeah. Like it was a little weird, but I was like, you know what, it makes sense, because Endor is really just like a normal forest, you know, like
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
there's
when I
like
was a-
monsters and stuff in it, but
well,
you
yeah,
know,
besides
pretty
that.
normal.
But I mean, like, I don't know, like when I was a kid, like, and we would go hiking, like, that's what Endor looks like, just like, especially when you're a
Mhm.
kid, you know, because technically they filmed it with like really, really big trees, but like when you're a kid, all trees are really big. So, like, just being in normal woods as a kid just felt like being in Endor.
Yeah, that's true. Um, I didn't go to the woods much because I stayed inside and played video games.
I used to go hiking and kayaking and sorts of weird stuff. There's Goose Poop Island.
Yeah, I had a DS and a Wii.
I had the DS, but I would play it on the way to go hiking and
Okay.
stuff.
When I was at work, you know, my boss was like, "Hey, did you do anything fun this weekend? It was a nice day outside." And I was like, "Yeah, I went outside in Stardew Valley. That's it." So, yeah, the only thing is weird. Oh, there's like some woodsy, foresty area right by Lucasfilm that I think is neat. When we would go to the premieres and stuff, um, and they had these big trees and stuff. I thought those were cool. That reminded me of Endor. The one time I went to a forest-ish area.
You don't have as many forests as I did around where I grew up.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's fine. I don't need it. I
It's
don't need them.
no, you had the beach though.
Yes, we do have the beach, but I guess I could be like, oh, I'm trying to think of beaches in Star Wars.
Scare.
Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go
Where they
die
all
on the
died.
beach?
We can recreate the scene. Let's do it. Where they just all explode and die. A friend sent me a TikTok of Bodhi Rook dying, and like it had sad music. Like, I was like, that's why would you do that to me? You know, that's like my Kanan death with like compared to yours.
Bodhi?
Yeah, Bodhi's is just very sad because you know, like they throw the bomb in and he like just kind of looks at it and then it's just boom. And it's just
I think Baze is the saddest one in that movie.
yeah, Chirrut and Baze is really sad. When I thought what's his face?
I still remember like going into that movie and I was like, no one's gonna die, but like I kind of knew people were gonna die, and I was like, but you know what? At least the droid's gonna make it, because like they're not gonna kill the droid. Then the droid was the first one. So
yeah, I was told that people like because people saw the premiere and then they went in and told me. They're like, yeah, everyone dies. And I was like, I don't believe you.
that's not very nice.
No. Well, I asked for it because I like spoilers.
Well, okay, if you ask, then I changed my opinion then.
I personally really like spoilers. And yeah, because spoilers are nice because then I get to know what to prepare for. But Ewok movie.
Ewoks, yes.
I'm really glad that I didn't like. Did I talk about it much? Like, did I explain?
No,
it
you
to
were always just like, you should watch the Ewok movies, and I was like,
Okay.
okay. And then I think you were gonna get me to watch them that time I was in Anaheim, but then you lost the game of the box. We watched Holiday Special instead.
Oh yeah, that's true. And then we watched some JoJo.
Then we watched. No, that was not the JoJo.
Really?
That was when he was like, "Oh, Zoe, you would really like Gravity Falls." I was like, "Oh, I've heard that show's good."
Oh.
And then he put on a random episode in the middle of it, and I was like, "What is happening?" He's like, "You'll get it." And I'm like, "No, I won't. I don't know these people."
No. Yeah. When was it? Then we watched JoJo.
That was when I stayed with you guys over my fall break.
Okay.
And
Yes.
like everyone was like, we were all like, oh, what should we watch? And we were like discussing it, and while we're talking about it, Axel just like picked up the remote and turned on JoJo without asking anyone. And then we all just
Yeah.
kind of ended up watching JoJo, even though no one agreed to it.
He took matters into his own hands.
He really did.
And I'm glad he did. I told my friend to, because he's subscribed to the podcast, but like sometimes he doesn't know Star Wars that well. So like every now and then he doesn't listen. But I told him, I was like, okay, but like for this one podcast, like if I'm gonna make you listen to any episode of our podcast, it's gonna be JoJo Geek Girl, please. And he was trying he like explained it to me. He was like trying to like do his chores around his dorm and like do laundry and stuff, but he was so distracted with what was happening and how many times Axel kept jumping through the timeline that he couldn't focus on either the laundry or the podcast. So he had to turn it off for a bit and then listen to it later.
That makes sense.
After. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. So the movie, the Ewok movie.
Yes. It is great. But
very good.
Mace and Sindel lose their parents.
Yes, that's like the first scene. There's like this crash ship, and the parents are like looking around for the kids, who I guess ran off, even they were told not to, because that's what kids in movies do.
They do.
And they're looking around, and then the giant thing, what's that? Gorax. I have the Wikipedia page open. It's like really freaky looking. Has very long hair.
Looks like Dad. I always, anything when I was little that had long dark hair, I was like, that's Dad. So I was always like,
when is he
Dad?
doing his Gorax costume? That's
I don't know, man. He needs to do it. I think it would be really easy.
And the Gorax are actually in Forces of Destiny.
Yes.
I remember the one episode, there's that giant thing, and I was like, what is that? And you were
Yeah,
like,
they
that's
went
from the
to
Ewok movie.
Endor.
And I was like, it's from the what? And yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. That they like got some ideas from the Ewok movie to be in just regular shows. I mean, I'm not that no one watches Forces of Destiny. A good amount don't, but I think it's neat because
I think everyone should watch it because it's literally just a couple minutes each episode.
It
Just
really
watch
is.
it. Just do it.
They're
really cute.
It is really cute.
So yeah. So then I guess like the kids like come back and they're like, oh no, where are our parents?
Yeah. I don't know what happened there because Sindel was hiding in the little
because they were in the ship when the Ewoks were there, so I guess they left and came back.
I guess.
And then I don't know. I'm a little confused, but whatever.
It was a bit strange, but
And then the Ewoks find him because like the one Ewok is like on his little glider thing, like woo.
Yeah, they see the shiny ship.
Yeah, they see the ship and then they go look at it, and Mace he's very hostile. He's very aggressive.
He's trying to protect his sister.
I guess, but the Ewoks just like literally walk up to the ship and he just comes out swinging. It's like okay. But yeah, so like he attacks Ewoks and it doesn't work because Ewoks are awesome.
Yeah, Ewoks are awesome. They kind of like roll and freaking demolish him with just a roll. I think it's great.
But Sindel's like chill with them. She's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, Sindel's great because she's not hostile.
No, she's just like, hi, because they're cute little Ewoks,
They're cute little Ewoks.
And
I do like what Eric Walker told us about the actress and how she like wasn't scared of them. I think that's really, really cute.
Yeah, because that, because you never know what kids are going to be scared of. Like I remember when I was a Jawa, there was like, it was always like 50-50, like if a little kid was going to be like terrified or if they're going to be like, oh my god, a Jawa, you know.
Yeah,
So it's good that she wasn't scared of him.
it is. Otherwise, they'd have to find someone else.
That would just be bad.
Yeah. But they're also like these just teddy bears. I don't
So fluffy. I think it's the
don't
faces that
know.
throw kids off for Ewoks.
Yeah, maybe. It's also
I
like
know
they're
even some like
giant.
adults that don't like the face. You know,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
because they don't.
You know who
really
does?
know.
Steel. Steel loves them. We should have had Steel on to talk about the movies.
Steele does a lot of podcasts. He's very busy.
Yeah, it's true. Steel is Steel.
And he has
Um,
baby.
Does have baby. Cute babies.
Baby, I always forget, like I still think his baby's been like a baby for like 3 years. Because he posted a
I
picture of
don't
his kid
think so.
on Facebook, and I was like, oh, that's like an actual child, not just like an infant. Like I forgot that children age, you know.
They do age.
It's the same way that Axel's
unfortunately.
still like 10 years old in my head. Like
No, he's 11. Remember? I still don't
know
understand.
why. I don't think he knows why.
I don't know.
He told me
He's
he was
never like
11.
lied to someone about his age before.
I think he just said it. Like I don't know. He just is like
He forgot.
I forgot. Yeah.
You know, I forget my age all the time.
One of those mysteries. But yeah, so they go to the village, and then Sindel is sick, so they like give her medicine, and it's like they like put it in like it's like a
leaf.
yeah, it's like a random syrup they put in a leaf, and I was kind of like Mace was like, you know, he's very like protective of her, but then like he's like, we need to give her something to heal her, and then he just lets them pour this strange syrup in her mouth from a leaf. And I'm like, you don't have any concerns about that, I guess, you know? Okay, King.
It's syrup leaf. I trust that.
So then they give her a bunch of that, and she's fine, but then she's still sick. So they have to go get more. And then he goes,
needs more medicine.
Yeah, so they're looking for the tree, and Mace finds the tree, and there's a hole in it. And he sticks his hand in the hole.
He sticks his hand in the hole.
And then, and you know, there's like a thing in the hole, of course, and it bites him. And so the Ewoks have to help him pull his hand out.
What was he gonna do? Just grab it?
Just take like a handful of syrup and be like, I got it, guys.
No, because there was a creature. Like he saw
he saw the creature. I don't know.
So like, what was he gonna just grab it? Just take it?
The mind of a child
that's the part
is
I don't
beyond our
understand.
comprehension.
I guess so. That's true. I still don't understand Axel sometimes.
I mean,
Axel's humor is beyond us.
Anyone's comprehension.
Yeah, he like it's always one step ahead of me sometimes, and I think it's really hilarious because like I'll he'll send me something that he's proud of, and I'm like, oh, so cool, Pog, and then he says Gers, and I'm like, Poggers, I get it, you're a genius, Axel. And it's just his humor is beyond us. True. But anyway, that's
Axel for president.
Axel for president. Yeah, he was born here. He can do that. Epic.
I would vote for Axel.
I would vote for Axel too.
If for nothing else, just to see what would happen.
I think he would get the whole Star Wars community, which is a big amount, and I think he would just destroy everything and everyone, and give everyone equal rights.
He would make the national anthem the JoJo theme.
He would. He would try. He would do it.
He'd do it. He'd figure a way.
An executive decision. Just
he'd have your mom just like help him figure out all the laws so he can do whatever he wants, because that's how it works for sure.
Yes, of course. he'll get the whole family in there. Like I'll just cook for everyone, and he'll God, that would be very scary having Axel in charge of everything.
That's
Like
what
I'm
saying.
assuming that he's grown up and knows.
No,
stuff.
Axel for president right now.
Oh, right now.
Right now.
Like I think he's 13. As a
Right.
13-year-old.
You don't know your brother's own age?
He is, you know.
Okay. No, Axel for
He's
president
a
right
higher
now.
being. Right now. I don't know if that's
Just saying.
I think I would make if I could get like one thing from Axel, you know, like he could be like grant my wish or something, make something a law.
Is he a genie?
I think I would no, like he would make something law. I would have him make watching the Ewok movie mandatory for all families.
Good idea.
I think it's a good idea. So that way everyone can experience it. But
where were we? The tree.
Axel for president.
The creature in the tree.
Creature in the tree.
Creature in the tree for vice president.
No. Well, maybe it might do a little better than Axel. It's a tiny bit.
For vice president. It's there to
support vice president. Okay, that makes sense. He gets hurt because he like pulls it out and it's like a giant.
You're trying.
I really am trying. My brain is malfunctioning. It's a bigger animal. Thank you for your help, Zoe. You know, you tried to correct me for the one that I was correct.
I didn't know what you were trying to say.
Bigger is what I was trying to find the words for. Bigger animal, scarier animal. Consumes the hand, but not fully. Consume.
It's like a snake thing.
Yeah, it's really gross. I don't like it. I never liked it. It also makes a weird noise. But the Ewoks are like, what the heck? And they help him out, and his hand is hurt. They go back to give Sindel more medicine, and then she's okay. But when Sindel teaches Wicket how to Star Cruiser,
oh yeah,
I always loved that when I was little,
cute.
because I would just walk around like I would have a ship in my hand, and I'd be like Star Cruiser. And I love Wicket so much.
Yeah, so she like uses her hand to like show him like how it flies. And then he picks up like a horse figurine and tries to make it fly, and she's like, that's a horse.
That's a horse.
That's so
I
cute.
love her so much. And then they go, don't they go and try to
they try to leave because like they sleep with they sleep with the Ewoks in the village, and then Mace is like, we got to get out of here, and she's like, why? He's like, because I don't know. He has like a very specific like vision, I think, in his head of like what he wants to happen, and then just like doesn't want to accept help at all.
That's a lot of people.
So he like steals his blaster because he had a blaster that they took from him. And then they try to go back and find the ship, but they get lost. And then they like talk about their parents, and it's all sad. And then this giant thing, a boar wolf, comes over, and it's like,
but it's giant and it's wolfy.
It's called a boar wolf, according to Wikipedia. Apparently they're in some of the comics.
Really?
Yeah, some of the adventures, tales from Vader's castle.
Scary.
They're called a Bora. Yeah. Anyway, they get attacked by this giant thing. And like, they can't
But
really. They try to fight it, but they're children.
yeah, so
And
they hide.
they hide in like a tree, and then the Ewoks come and fight it off, and it's like yay.
It is. And they what do they do? Like
They find the dad's life monitor bracelet thing because
on
I forgot to
top of
mention
it,
that
yeah.
they all have like little bracelets that show that they're alive.
And at least alive, yeah.
Yeah, well, but it's like I guess the light for the dads showed that he was dead. But since his life monitor is actually not on him and on this thing, that means like he might actually be alive and it just wasn't on him, from what I understand.
I think it was the life monitors are really cool. I think it's cute for the little family.
I think more Star Wars should do that. I think that's a cool idea.
I think a lot of families would see their monitors go dark though, because Star Wars hates family sometimes.
That's the drama.
You know, it would be cool if Ezra had that though.
I think, yeah, because if Ezra had one, they'd all be green for Kanan and Hera and Zeb and Sabine. They'd all be green.
Would Kanan's be green?
Be very green, be bright green,
The brightest green,
just like his lovely son's hair that he got to live happily ever after with. So
I don't remember that.
They go to Logray, the Ewok.
Yes,
he's a shaman.
Logray.
He has like the funky hat,
he's great.
and he has like, it was so like, I was like, what movie am I watching? Because he has this like thing and it like spins and it shows like the family, and I was like,
oh yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
It's very, very fantasy, not as much what we usually see in Star Wars, very fantasy, and it kind of reminded me of like when like Mother Talzin would like show stuff that was happening, because like I don't know, it was pretty neat.
Was pretty neat.
And then so they decide they're going to go on a big adventure with a bunch of Ewoks to go and get the family back and save them, the parents. I mean, so they give them like little symbols, things like little wings and like a stick.
Yeah, thought that was cool
because
like they each get a gift before they go on the great adventure.
Yeah, and then they also give them like this crystal and this ivory tooth because they have to get like invite more, like 2 more Ewoks to like fully complete their caravan, which I thought was cool and very like high classic fantasy, Yeah, so that's fun to have that like in Star Wars. And they give Mace a rock, and he's not happy because it's just.
I wouldn't be too as a small child. I know.
Like, I feel like the movie kind of frames it as being like, oh my god, he's so ungrateful. But they like everyone else gets like little wings or like this cool little candle, and they give him a straight, like it just looks like a normal straight up rock. And they're like, here you go. And like I would be mad too. Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, I wouldn't throw it away though.
I wouldn't throw it, but like I don't blame him for being mad about it. Like like the little 4-year-old gets like a little candle, like a magic candle. They're like, here's a rock.
Yeah. Although I would feel weird about the candle too.
I'd rather have a candle than a rock. At least it seems a little more special. Like so there's some effort in it, It's just
I guess so. Rock. So he throws it out, but Wicket picks it up.
Wicket has a stick smart. Too. He has a little magic ball stick.
He likes his stick.
So they all say goodbye and go, and they all ride horses, and then Sindel and Wicket, because they're like the smallest, I guess, ride in a little like. It's like a little carriage thing, but it's not being like pulled by the horse. Like it's on top of the horse.
Yes. They're that small.
Yes, they're very small. And then so they meet the first Ewok friend because there's like a tree that falls and they're like, oh no, and it's just like this like Ewok woodsman with like an axe. and they have like an axe throwing contest.
Yes.
Um,
To see if he can go on the quest. If he
Yes.
should. He's worthy.
well, because like Ewoks are ready to just like give him the tooth, and Mace is like, no, we need to throw the axe.
Yeah.
So they have their contest, and then they give him the tooth and invite him. And then they find this like, it says here she's a priestess Ewok who also lives in the
Yes,
woods.
she's so pretty.
And they give her the little crystal thing
Mm-hmm.
and invite
she-
her to the thing too. And she's magic. She like turns something into like a ferret, and I was like, what?
Yes. Wasn't there a lizard or something?
Or a lizard. It was a lizard, not a
Yeah.
ferret. She like
Well, she
I
turns
forget-
something into a lizard because she puts it in Mace's hands, and then she gives it to Sindel, and it turns out to be a ferret. And then she's like, you know what? I will come on this quest. So, something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Turn stuff into other stuff, and I'm like, we need to get the Night Sisters on that. They'd have a ball with it.
I think so.
Can you imagine if they just like when they're doing all the ritual in Darth Maul or whatever, but instead of giving him like his cool legs, they just like turn him into a lizard
I thought you were gonna say like into a ferret, and I was like,
or a
yeah,
ferret? Just turn him into
a red ferret.
turn him into a ferret. That would solve a lot of problems.
I think so.
Just like put him in a little bag. You know, people like carry their pets around in like a bag, and he's just like chittering angrily from the bag.
Yeah, I think so. And then what else?
Let me see. Oh yeah, it says she gives the crystal to Mace, and it turns into a lizard, and then Sindel picks up the lizard and it turns into a mouse.
Oh, a mouse. I thought it was ferret. Ferrets are
Yeah.
better.
Ferrets are furry.
Yes.
So yeah, so she joined. So now they have their whole crew put together.
Yes, and they can go on the epic quest.
Yes, on their epic quest to save the parents, and then they find there's this really weird part with the lake.
Yeah.
He like, cause like Mace goes over to the lake, and he like touches the water, but then he like
gets stuck into the
but
lake.
he doesn't even get sucked into it. He like teleports.
Yeah, he teleports into it and he gets
into the water.
stuck.
And so, and then, you know, obviously he like tries to swim to the surface, but it's like blocked. Like it's like almost like there's like a sheet of glass above him, and he's just
You know how terrifying that is?
oh my god, I would die. Like literally, I would drown.
I mean, yeah, you would die. That's
Like,
it. Like unless Wicket was
God.
there, you would die.
God, yeah,
like-
and it's like it was a very, very long scene where he's under, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna run out of air. It's a very
I
long
would
scene.
when I was little would like try to hold my breath. I was like, no, he's dead.
I mean, honestly, it probably wasn't that long. It just felt very long to me. It was very intense.
Yeah.
It's all the time. We're
What are you
technically,
doing?
it's fine. I don't even know, but it's finals week. We're supposed to have 24/7 quiet hours, but what do I know? Anyway, Wicket gets his magic.
Oof.
Wicket gets his
They're
magic
stuck
stick.
underwater.
I know. Wicket gets his magic stick and like puts it in that, because like they try to put other things under the water, but they just like disappear, and they don't want to touch the water, obviously.
Yeah, don't do that. That's very
So-
smart of them.
So
Mace
Wicket,
just touches everything and then messes up.
he sticks his hand in a tree. He sticks his hand in the water.
And
Just- Yeah, he's a little bold.
Yeah.
But so his magic walking stick does get through the water like normal water, and they're able to pull Mace out with the stick.
stick. Yes.
And then Mace accidentally scares the horse.
Yeah.
With Sindel in her little thing on top of the horse. And the horse gets scared and starts running. Because it's a horse. So then the
What else
axe,
are they gonna do?
right? So then the axe Ewok gets on his horse, and then goes to catch the horse. and bring them back.
Yes, and then he does.
So, yeah.
Mace just messes up again.
He's having a rough time.
Very rough time.
So then the one night after that, they set up like a camp, and then there's these little glowy things called Wisties.
Yes, those are cute. Those are in Battlefront.
Are they?
Yeah, they're in Battlefront too. When they had the Ewok, did you play Battlefront 2?
I played the story, and I've played some of the online, but not very much. I'm not good.
It was the online ones.
don't-
But they had Ewoks, and you go in and you either were an Ewok or you were a stormtrooper, and it was night on Endor, and so it's terrifying if you're a stormtrooper because you can't see the Ewoks that well because they're super small and they're really hard to shoot. But they have this weapon, and I just remember now. But they throw those Wisties, and they attack you. But yeah, I think that's cool. That's another thing I remembered.
Yeah, I'm not very good at the online mode of that game.
That's okay.
And I get frustrated because I hadn't played for a while because I was busy. And then whenever I do try to play, I'm level I don't know 9 or whatever, and then the people I'm fighting are level 400. I'm and they have all better weapons and stuff than me, and I'm this isn't fair.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just get frustrated. So yeah. But yeah, so they have little Wisties and they all fly around. And I think Mace first is angry at them. I think from what I remember, he was what are these?
Well, they were trying to
they're trying to
away.
Yeah. And then they kind of but then Wicket's oh, I know what these dudes are. And then so Sindel uses her candle and all the Wickets Wickets, all the Wisties go into the candle and then they turn into the little queen. A little lady.
Oh, lady.
And then Mace, he straight up puts her in his pocket pretty much. He's and she's cool with it. It's not he abducted her, but it's just he's all right, come here. And she's
me in Animal Crossing, putting everything in my pocket.
Yeah. So yeah, and then they finally after that, they pretty much nothing really happens until they finally get to the big cave thing.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
And then Mace's rock. That's important now.
They're he needs a rock, and then Mace is oh man, I threw it out because I thought it was dumb. And then Wicket's I have it.
Yes, Wicket saves the day as usual.
Yeah.
Wicket's the best.
He's the best.
So there's an arrowhead inside of it.
Mm-hmm. And then, it leads the way.
Yeah, and it leads them the way to. It shows them the way to the entrance. So they go into the cave, and Wicket and Sindel and one of the other Ewoks stays behind, while the other ones go ahead. And then there is the horrible spider.
Yeah, I really hated that spider when I was little, and then
I hated it when I was now.
Yeah, when you were, it's still really creepy and horrifying.
Cause they were in the cave, and I've played enough Skyrim to know that when there's giant webs, something's afoot. So there's this giant.
I don't play Skyrim, and I was giant webs.
Yes, there's a giant webs. There's a lot of giant spiders in Skyrim. Great. Yeah. So I don't know if you heard that. They all just cheered. So maybe there's a sports going on tonight. Is there a sports?
Sports? I don't know. I don't know sports. Talking to the wrong person. You should ask them.
No. So there's giant spider web, and then they're just kind of they start walking across the web because there's a ravine and the webs across the ravine. And then, of course, giant spider comes out. They have to fight the giant spider.
Yeah, that spider was very terrifying.
Yeah.
Even when I was watching it still, like you can like tell it's fake and stuff, but like it's still scary
It's very
and it's
scary.
huge.
Yeah. Well, so and it's like it comes back. Like they kill it the first time, and you're like, okay, good, no more spider, and then it comes back, and it's like, oh no. Then they kill it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Then there's another spider.
Well, it's not another spider, is it?
Is it? I don't know. It says.
I think it's the same spider because they didn't
Is
kill it. It just falls in the ravine. And then it comes back, falls
No,
again.
I mean the one that attacks Wicked. Is that
Yeah.
a new spider? Or that's the same spider. So many.
I always thought it was the same spider.
Okay. It says,
Although it
according
would
to
also make sense that
Wikipedia
there are
says
multiple.
Wikipedia says it's attacked by a third spider. But what does Wikipedia know?
Third.
So yeah, many spiders or one spider attacking many times.
Either way, very terrifying.
Yeah, either way, I almost hope it's more than one spider because if it's not, then that's just a really strong spider.
Yeah, that's true. We'll just say it's 3 spiders then.
So then they all get to like the cave with the Gorax, and they kind of like, well, they hide in the cave, except the one is like stuck behind the poor little guy.
He gets stuck.
He gets stuck hiding separate from everyone else, and so the parents are in a cage that's like hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Very
Very scary. Very sad.
scary. And then, so the one Ewok that got separated was hiding behind his axe. Like he had his axe sitting
A
like
giant
blade
axe,
down on the floor. And then, but he knocks the axe over. I was like, no.
He knocks the axe over and then he runs away. So the Gorak chases him, and he doesn't die. He's fine.
No,
he plays tricks on him.
Yeah, he's like hides in like baskets and like runs and like confuses it. It's cute. It's very stressful. But then, so while the Gorax is like chasing that little guy, the other one's like go get the parents. So they use the axe as like a seesaw kind of thing to like jump on it and like get up.
Yeah.
And then they
for a second I was confused. I was like, why did they all go up there?
I know. Yeah.
For a second I was like, huh.
So they go up there and then they use a rope to like climb back down.
Yeah.
With the parents, because the parents are like, oh my god, child, we thought we were gonna die.
Oh my god.
So
yeah,
they climb down, and then when they get to the bottom, the Gorax notices them, and then the other Ewoks like trying to distract it. Yeah, and it's like went back and forth. But then they all get out of the cave, because he uses the Wisty, the little Queen Wisty.
Yeah, he uses like the Wisties.
Yeah, but, she like goes and like distracts him, like because she's a little light and she like flies around. He's like, what?
But then the Axe Boy,
yes, Axe Boy is attacking him with the axe.
But then Wisties, Wisty like.
Or it's like the Gorax is like confused because of the Wisty, and he like hits the wall or something, and like all the rocks come down, and it hits Axe Boy.
Hit Axe Boy.
It's very sad, and I was like shocked that he died. I was so like, what? No, he can't die.
It was very sad. And Mace was there to experience it. I was like,
this whole movie, I'm like, oh, cute little Ewok adventure. And he dies.
No. He is dead.
But he gives him the axe.
Yeah.
He gives Mace the axe. Yeah. So, I mean, shouldn't Mace have a mace, though?
So then Ewok dies and takes the axe. He goes, and then they go and like the parents try to like trip the Gorak
Yeah, they use like a
into the
rope.
ravine,
Kind of,
but like
yeah.
it doesn't really work.
Yeah, well, he doesn't fall in the ravine, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And then the magic lady uses to make like a big rock fall on his head,
Yes,
and then he falls into the pit.
which I
it's
don't know how that works. But like it should be fine. It's okay.
It's fine. She can do it.
Yes.
So they all. Oh, I forgot about this part, but according to Wikipedia, but I guess the Gorax climbs out of the pit again,
Yeah,
but
and
then Mace
Spindle.
throws the axe,
Mhm.
and the Gorax falls in the pit again for the last time, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
And then they finally
And if
get
not, just run.
across, and they're all reunited. And they get home, and then all the Ewoks have like a big like dinner,
Celebration and dinner. Yay.
and it's all
Gorak for dinner.
Gorax. And it's all very happy times.
Happy times. And then we get to the second movie and the whole family is dead.
Yeah, so it's happy times, and I was like, oh my god, this movie's so cute. And then the next day, I watch the sequel, the Battle for Endor, and within the first, I don't think it's even 5 minutes.
No.
It's so short, and the whole family, except for Sindel, dies. Like,
yes.
Like, so, like, it's, like, kind of happy at the beginning, like, Sindel and Wicket are, like, running around, and Wicket's like, oh, I'm gonna miss you, Sindel, and I'm like, oh. And then...
Yeah, Wicket knows more English now.
Yeah, Wicket speaks a little English. It's cute. But then, like, all of a sudden, there's, like, a battle in the village, and, like, Sindel runs over to the mom and Mace, and the mom's, like...
Mom's dead.
Pretty much dead on the ground.
Yeah.
And Mace is shooting things. And he's like, go, Sindel, go find Dad. And she's like, okay. And then while she's running away, they blow up. And their lights go out on her little bracelet.
Two of them, both of them.
Yeah.
Because one was, like, slightly fading.
Yeah.
And then immediately both. That was...
So she goes and finds the dad on their Star Cruiser. And she's like, hey, you know, Mom and Mace are dead. And he's like, I know. And they're, like, trying to escape. But then I don't even know what these dudes are. Marauders. The Marauders, like, find them. And they're like, we're going to take your stuff. And he's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, because they try to take the source of the Star Cruiser.
Yeah, because I think it has, like, magic powers.
Power of the stars.
Yeah, we'll get to that, I think.
Yes.
So then while they're running, so, like, Sindel and her dad are, like, running away. And then they kill the dad, and Sindel just has to run.
Yes, Dad is dead.
Yeah, Dad is dead. They're all dead. Literally, this child
is an orphan now.
She's an orphan, like, within minutes.
But first Night's sister ? I think she's cool. She's evil, but like when I was little, I thought she was really cool. Because she turns into a crow. She's
pretty cool. Yeah, she turns into a crow and like follows him around, and she's like she's very like got Morticia Addams vibes going on.
Yeah, she
very
does.
Cool. Yeah, but so like, yeah, they're dead, and like, I had to pause the movie and be like, did I actually just watch that? Like,
all of them dead.
Like,
yeah.
It was like honestly more intense than any other Star Wars movie. What other Star Wars movie, like at least like Owen and Beru had like at least like 10-20 minutes. You know, they gave this child nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like at least craziness. So
but they
so
capture her.
Yeah, they capture her.
Sindel and a lot of Ewoks.
Yeah. So they put them all in cages, which are being pulled by blurgs.
Yes, I thought that was cool because when we first saw Mando, I was like, those look really, really familiar. And
well, they're in Rebels.
I was like, oh, huh?
Well, they were in Rebels and Clone Wars first.
Were they?
Yeah, in Rebels, Cham and Numa ride blurgs, and in
Clone
Wars, the Twi'leks ride blurgs.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Well, I recognize them in Mando because they were real life, not
Yeah,
cartoon.
they're live action, so it registered better.
Real life. Real life.
Real life.
Real life blurgs.
Real life.
Real life. It's easier, I guess for me, it was easier to make that connection because I was like, oh, real life blurgs. Makes sense. But yeah, I do remember them writing them. And then the Raiders or the Marauders, they look, I don't know, they look like weak ways, but then also they look like, I think I was talking to my dad about this. They look like the ones that were raiding the village in Mando.
Yeah, the bulldog guys.
Yeah, they kind of look like that too, but like with a mix of like weak ways.
Yeah, well, because they're like, wear like fur and stuff, which like
Mhm.
weakways usually don't do. I feel like most of the weakways we see have like some kind of leather armor or something.
Mm-hmm.
Where these guys wear like fur, kind of like the
Probably
Marauders.
Ewoks.
Oh god.
Ewok fur.
I'm gonna
I
ignore
hate
that.
myself for that. Yeah, please ignore it.
Yeah, definitely like a mishmash between those
Mhm.
two
Um,
things.
and then they capture
yeah.
them. I do like that they're captured in those giant things and they like pull the planks out
And cages
and
and like
the one Ewok is like measuring who can fit and he's like Ewok too big. It's like dang. That's all right. And then
rough.
Wicket and
Yeah, so Wicked and Sindel are
Go.
like the smallest ones, and they are able to to escape, and they do get chased like when they run.
Yeah, by two of the
because
Marauders.
they kind of like they kind of wait for a strategic moment, I guess, but like not really. They just kind of like drop out the second they get the idea.
Kind of like it seemed like he was just minding his business, and then all of a sudden, like whipped around, and was like, "Oh yes, there's people escaping." So like there was no way.
They had some pretty bad luck.
Yeah.
But they're able to run, and then they get into like a cave.
Yeah.
They get into a cave, and like the rocks collapse on this one side, so like the Marauders can't get it. So they're like safe.
Well, they also
like,
fell over the cliff, but like also the Marauders can't get it.
Yes, but now they can't get to them. So they like, all right, we'll figure out another. Oh, I just dropped my earbuds. They're like, we'll figure out another way out of this cave.
The Marauders fell over the cliff.
Good connection. So then like the only other way out of the cave is like a really steep like drop straight off the mountain. So Wicket starts trying to build them a little glider so they can get out.
Because he had a glider in the first one. Well, like he didn't have one, but like
was that his dad? Was that the Ewok? Or like one of the other Ewoks?
Don't know. I don't think so because that was the dad of the two Ewoks he was trying to find.
That's right. Yeah.
So I don't think it was
different dad.
Yeah.
So many Ewok dads.
Yes. At least those Ewok dads don't die.
Yes, but they have then there's this like big dragon that attacks them.
I didn't when I watched it again, I was like, oh, it looks like a dragon. I don't know why when I was little I always thought it looked like a pterodactyl. Maybe the wings, I guess.
The wings are maybe a little pterodactyl-y. But like it's not because like like in the Mandalorian, like it's called a crate dragon, but like it just kind of looks like a big worm. But this just looks like a normal, like regular straight up dragon. It's like nice.
Epic dragon time. Star Wars dragon.
Yeah. So they attack by a dragon.
More dragon than the crate dragon.
Yes. They attack by the dragon. And they're trying to like fight it off. And the dragon grabs Sindel. Like just grabs her and starts flying. So Wicket takes his little glider. He jumps. Like,
where is he going? Like that's his home, I thought.
He has a beachfront property. He has a timeshare.
Okay.
Go to his vacation home.
Sorry.
But so Wicket goes and he throws rocks at the dragon.
Yeah.
And obviously that makes the dragon drop the little girl. So and then
thinking too far ahead, but like
Wicket's like, oh no. So then he goes down to get
catches her. Yeah.
He does catch her. She like lands on top of his glider pretty much and like has to hang on. Yeah, she breaks it, so they crash.
On accident. It's okay.
Yeah. She's a child. It's okay. So they crash, but no more dragon.
Yeah. Dragon wouldn't go and try to attack them. He just got hit in the face with the rock.
Yeah. So they spend the night in a tree, and then the next morning there's that little thingy. He looks like a Muppet. The Teak.
Oh, Teak.
Teak.
Yes.
Little fast
He's
dude.
so cute.
He zips around.
He zips. It's like in real life, if you saw something zipping around, it would kind of be terrifying. But like he's just so cute and he's so nice.
He's so fluffy.
He is fluffy. What does it say? Does Wikipedia say what he is?
It says he's a Nemoidian.
What?
What the hell? That can't be it. That's not right.
That doesn't sound right.
Okay, no, that was a different person named Teak. Okay.
Oh.
But it had a picture of Teak like from this movie, but it said Nemoidian. I was like, what? No, it says this guy. It says the species is Teak. He is Teak the Teak.
Interesting. Yes.
Okay. Who is this Teak the Nemoidian? I need to know now because I'm so curious. Oh, he's from Old Republic. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, wait, huh?
Well, because if you look up Teak, like just Google Teak, it'll say on the right, it'll have a picture of Ewok Teak, but it'll say Nemoidian. So I was like, what?
Yeah, it just says Teak was a male member of the Teak species.
Yeah, but like, if you look on the right side where there's a little like thing, it says Nemoidian. I was like, okay.
Wait. There's a picture of Teak and it's just I need to send it to you. Hold on. It's just him. Zoom.
Okay, yeah. So they meet Teak and they follow Teak and he takes her to a little house and the house is all like messy and full of junk. So
she's like, oh, I guess they just left all this junk behind.
Yeah.
And I was like,
to be fair, Teak doesn't really like do anything to dissuade them from believing that. So like I don't blame them. So they start cleaning up, which is like
can't really speak.
Yeah, but he can shake his head no.
That's true.
But anyway. So she starts if I have a child, I want it to be this child who just sees a mess and starts cleaning it up. Best child ever. Right? She's
yeah.
Best child ever.
Yeah, that's true. But also it is a movie child that was paid to do this. I believe. But she is best child, no matter what.
So then the owner of the
house
also
starts cooking.
Yes, she cooks. She makes like a porridge.
Mm-hmm.
So and while they're cooking the porridge, the owner of the house, who's this like old Santa looking dude named Noah, he comes back and he's like, "Get out of my house."
Which is like many mood swings.
Yeah, and it's like very mean of him, but also like there are random people who came into his house and moved all his stuff around.
But they're also children.
They are also children, but like.
So I would be like confused and a little mad, but I'd be like, "Wait, where are your parents?"
Right, but he just kicks him out. He's just like, "Bye."
Yeah.
And then he's mad at Teak because Teak let him in, and Teak's poor Teak's probably this lonely.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, Noah leaves every day, so.
Yeah. So Noah does end up eating the food she made, though.
Yeah, that was mean.
And then he tells Teak, he's like, "Don't give them any of this," but Teak does because Teak's a bro.
Yes. And he like immediately just goes
and gives them the food, no hesitation.
Yeah.
And then So Sindel and Wicket like start a fire because they're like only a little bit outside the house and they're just trying to like
Oh,
survive.
be
You know, it's
warm.
cold, and he just comes out and puts the thing out. And
What's
it's
out
just
the fire?
he's like, you're gonna start a forest fire, and it's like, okay, well, you won't let them in your warm house.
Yeah.
So like,
There's only so much Wicket for to like cuddle, you know?
right,
Like Wicket's probably cold too.
exactly.
So it's really mean. But then he eventually lets him in.
Does and they so they're staying in the house. Finally, they're friends. And meanwhile, in the castle of the Marauder people, the Night Sister is like trying to do like a ritual or whatever on the little power thing for the Star Cruiser, but like
Nothing's happening.
no, because they're looking for like a magic power. But really,
This
it's
is
like
technology power.
it's just literal like power.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, you know what? I bet that child has the secrets to the power.
Which
So
like
we
I don't
have-
know how they just like were like, yeah, the child.
You know, gotta figure something out. So they go to get that. They're like, we gotta go get that child. So then we go back to the house, and Sindel and Wicket give Noah flowers because
They do. But
very sweet.
not flowers. Well, yeah, they were berries.
Berries, yeah,
They
berries.
make pie.
Yeah, they make pies.
But
and
Noah thinks they left and he's like, yeah, well, good riddance. I would have thrown him out anyway. And then they come back with berries and he's like, well, just don't make a mess. And I'm like, sir, make up your mind, please. I'm getting whiplash. Like he's him. But then they was that before or because Sindel has a nightmare that the Marauders
that
come.
was they make the pies, and then she has the nightmare
Yeah.
because he tucks them into bed, and then
Yeah. No. I think
No,
it was
wait,
the
here,
first
okay.
night.
he tucks them into bed.
Because the second
No, yeah, she already did have the nightmare. You're right. You're right.
yes. But then they go and follow Noah, see what he's doing all day.
And there's a big ship.
Big ship. Big star cruiser. But Wicket thinks it's a bush.
Yes, because Wicket is Wicket.
Wicket is Wicket. Wicket is very smart.
But so he tells them about how he got to Endor because his ship crashed with his friend Salak, and their crystal oscillator was shattered, so they went to go find another one. And Salak did, and Salak never returned. All right.
Yeah. Rest in peace. And it's sad times. Then they go back to the house and they kind of like have
They
fun.
play some music.
Yeah, they play music. And then all of a sudden it's sad times again. And Sindel's like, yeah, my whole family's dead. And
she sings the song that her mom would sing to her.
Yeah.
But what they didn't know was that the witch lady was listening.
Yeah.
Because then that next morning she sings the song in like the voice of Sindel's mother.
Mm-hmm.
So Sindel follows because she's like, Mom, you're not dead, but she is.
She's very dead.
She's very, very dead.
Like she was the first to die, Sindel. What the heck?
Yeah. So, and she's a little girl, okay?
Yeah, she's
So
small.
she
It's
goes-
okay. I'm not saying it's her fault. It's just, I'm just saying, Sindel. She died first. But she goes and like she meets this like it's the witch. It's the Night Sister, but she's like white and fairy like and
yeah, she's got like long. She's like her normal hair is dark, but she's like blonde hair, and she's wearing like a white dress, and she's like sitting on the edge, and there's like a white horse, and it's very like suspicious.
It is suspicious, but it's Endor. It's fine. And then she gets captured because it's the Night Sister.
Yeah, so the Night Sister takes her away, and Wicket and Noah try and catch up, but they cannot.
I cannot.
So they get Sindel back to the fortress, and
She
she's
can't do
very
anything.
brave. She's very brave.
Yeah.
He's like asking questions. She's like, I just want to know what happened to the Ewoks. And he says like, I won't hurt the Ewoks if you use your magic to make the power thing work. And she's like, they give her like the power supply thing, and she's very like blunt because she's a kid. So she's like, what do you want me to do with like just straight up like this isn't magic. He gets mad.
Yeah.
And it's like obviously you're like, oh no, Sindel's captured, but it's also really funny because
It is funny because she's like, I don't know.
she's just so bold. She's like, this is stupid. Like this is nothing. And it's like, it's
yeah. But then her and the witch get sent to prison.
yes, because the witch is like, because he's like, oh witch, if I'm gonna kill you if you can't make her do the thing, and she's like, oh no. So then the witch is still trying to convince her to like use the magic, and she's trying to tell her like there's no magic. It's just a machine.
Yeah. Because Salik was saying that he needs it for the ship.
Right, yeah, that's like the backstory. He's like, I need it for power for my ship, and I guess they just heard power and went,
whoa, power?
So,
yeah.
And
then Salik is dead in the corner.
Yeah, he's bones.
He's literally just bones, which is kind of sad.
So meanwhile, Noah and Wicket and Teak are gonna climb and try and get her. So they go to the fortress and they try and climb the rope, but there's the water has like
a monster.
There's like a monster or like different. I don't know. It's almost like in cartoons when there's like piranhas in the water, you know? Like,
yeah, but it was like it's
chomp.
bubbling and you can it's kind of scary. I don't like it. I don't like things in the water.
Very scary. So they do climb up the wall because over the moat.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do get spotted by a guard, but they literally just pretty much throw the guard into the moat, and he gets eaten by the monster.
Yeah, that was scary as well.
And so then they sneak into the thing, and they
steal the guard's clothes, don't they?
Yeah, well, they steal a robe, and they do the thing like the kids stacked on top of each other in a trench coat, like they hunch over and like put a trench coat on.
Which is just so suspicious, but you know, they got away with it, kind of.
It works. You know what? If it worked,
it works.
So they find the Ewoks in jail, and they have to like steal the key from
one of the marauders that's gambling.
Yeah, and so Teak like zips all around and like gets the key.
Yeah, he gets the key by like going behind the marauder.
He gets them to think they're cheating by like moving the cards around, so they think the other one's cheating, and then they like get angry and they shoot each other. Then they take the key, and it works. And so they go and they free Sindel and they free the Ewoks, and the Night Sister lady's like, oh, free me, and Sindel's like, no, you're evil, and throws the keys away.
Yeah. I thought that was really cute. She's just so bold and like she's great.
And she's so tiny.
She is so tiny.
It's great. Like I feel like sometimes like I need to be very clear if you haven't seen these movies. This is a literal like 5-year-old. Like this isn't like how Ezra's a child in Rebels. Like this is a literal child. Like like actual tiny child. She's 5. Yeah. Like it's great.
She's the cutest.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. And they run away, but then there's the guards, so they have to fight to escape. And and Noah sees Salik's skeletons and Sindel points it out and is like, oh, there's your friend. She's like, I'm sorry. Yeah. And he's like, oh my god, okay.
He's like, oh, all right, that's nice. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Which like she's a kid. Like, it's fine.
She can do what she wants. So they escape, all the Ewoks, they all escape, and it's a great time. And then the like leader dude of the Marauders, he like wants to kill the Night Sister, but she's like, oh no, there's like another ship. Because I guess they don't know, because I guess they found the like Sindel's family's ship, but they don't know about Noah's ship. I guess that's like hidden.
Yeah.
So he lets her. Oh, and she can only turn into a raven because of her ring. We didn't mention that. The reason she couldn't escape was because she didn't have her magic ring. But then
Mhm.
he gives her the ring, so now she can turn into a raven.
Yeah, so like kind of lame Night Sister, but like it's okay.
Yeah, it was, Night Sister prototype, work in
Yeah.
progress.
That's fine. Yeah.
So she turns into the bird and follows them to find like the village and like where the ship is. So then they're all like gathered, and the more Marauders come to attack. And
Yes.
and they have the power converter now, which is what Noah needed for his ship
Mm-hmm.
to
So
fix
he
it.
can escape. He just needs the time to
Yeah, he needs to.
install it.
Yeah. So they're doing that. So while he's doing that, the Ewoks need to fight off the Marauders. So they they do their Ewok thing with all their little tricks and stuff. They use the Return of the Jedi, all their traps. And
Mm-hmm.
so although it's like kind of a
Do you think
brutal
this was before or
after
Return of the Jedi?
I think so. Like
Does
in my
Wikipedia
brain, Wikipedia probably does. So but in my brain, like Wicket is like he seems really confused, right?
Yeah.
About like ships and stuff. But like if this was after Return of the Jedi, then he wouldn't be, right? Because he already saw like all that,
Right. Yeah.
So like, let me look. See Wikipedia. So yes, it is before because Wikipedia says this takes place 3 ABY, and episode 6 takes place 4 ABY.
Okay.
So we figured it out.
Epic.
But yeah, so they fight, and it's kind of a brutal battle. Like they straight up like stab.
Yeah, they get
Like-
stabbed. Like they're throwing spears.
Like it's not like I feel like like not that Return of the Jedi isn't a little brutal, but it's more like the Ewok or the Stormtrooper gets hit with a rock and falls down. It's like this guy got stabbed in the chest and like slowly falls and dies. It's like,
Well, I
oh my
mean,
God.
that's the thing is that like the Ewoks for stormtroopers, they had to like figure out how to kill the stormtroopers, and they were like, oh, kill them with the black spots. The black spots are where they're weak.
Yeah.
So like they had to throw all the rocks and stuff, but with these guys, they don't have that kind of armor, so they can just straight
up stab him through, like just skewer him, and it's like, oh my God. So they're fighting.
It's terrifying, but it's okay.
Yeah, so they're fighting, and then eventually the the King Marauder, he like captures Sindel, and he like duels Noah in exchange. He's like, I'll give you back Sindel and you give me the power supply, blah, blah, blah. So they duel, and he has a sword, and Noah uses his like little walking stick. And and so the king has like a necklace thing, right? And so Wicket,
don't know.
He shoots
I never understood this part.
He shoots a rock and it hits the necklace thing. And then he like turns to stone.
Again, I never understood this part.
So
I'm not your best bet on understanding what happened.
Cool. I don't understand. It doesn't seem like Wikipedia really understands. It's like, oh, he turns to ash. It's like, great.
Yeah. He just kind of turns to ash, and we're like, awesome.
And like, we don't know why. Or
I don't know
how, but that's what happens. So that
happy ending.
But yeah, they win, and so Sindel and Noah say goodbye, and it's really sad. That Teak
Sindel and Noah,
they say goodbye to the others. Like yeah. And it's kind of sad because like it's like, oh yeah, they're leaving, but it's like, oh no, they're leaving.
Yeah. Did they say where they were going again?
Nope,
Okay.
they just
Interesting.
left. So I don't know where they went.
Hmm. Guess we'd have to figure out what planets are near Endor.
Or but not. It's not even that. It's like where do you go? Because like Sindel doesn't. You know, her
I don't know
family's
why, but I always thought
family's dead.
Coruscant. Yeah, her
Coruscant.
family's kind of dead. I don't know why, but my brain says Coruscant for some reason. I don't know why. Because she talks about like school and stuff. I don't know. That's what I always thought when I was little. That was my headcanon, I guess. I also think she would probably just go wherever she thinks that she has relatives.
Maybe I don't know if a 5-year-old would know. You know,
I
like,
mean, she would be like, "Oh, my grandma's in."
but like, what if
I don't
she?
know.
I don't know. What if she
Doesn't
didn't
know.
know? You know, like,
Well, then
and like,
I
what's
guess Noah would just take her to like,
take it where he's from? I guess I don't know
yeah,
what they do.
I don't know. I've never
According to
found children on Endor before.
according to old legends, she became a journalist
Oh,
that published writing about because I was like, I haven't read these whatever books or comics this was in. I'm just going off Wikipedia because I was like, what did happen to her? You
mm-hmm.
know? So
That's
after all this happened, she becomes a journalist and she publishes stuff about Endor after the war so people can learn about it and respect the Ewoks.
That's cute.
She investigates stuff. So happy ending.
Yeah, that's cute. I like that. I like that very much.
Yeah. She did interviews of heroes. So yeah.
Yes, I think that's very good. I think they should make her canon.
You absolutely should. I
That's
agree.
the only thing from Legends that I'm like, yeah, make her canon. Um, but
It does say she settled on Coruscant when she started as a journalist, so
huh,
you were
okay.
kind of right.
My imagination was semi right. That's good.
Mhm. So yeah, those are those movies.
Yeah, very good. I'm really glad that you liked them.
I like them a lot. I can't wait now. I hope they'll put the Droids cartoon on there now, so then you can watch that. 'Cause that's the weird Star Wars thing that I watched when I was a kid. Was the Droids cartoon?
It wasn't holiday special.
Well, no, I didn't watch that till I was like probably 12, 13.
Okay.
No, Droids was my thing. Um, it's I don't remember much of it. One of the villains is named Kybo Ren. I'm not kidding.
Hmm.
It's great. He kind of looks like I'll go a picture so I can see if I can give a good comparison. He kind of looks like so like you know in Mulan, the short soldier that's friends with
Yeah.
Mulan. He kind of looks like that, but he's evil.
Evil. Okay. Did you watch the 2D Clone Wars?
2D Clone Wars? Yeah, as a kid I did. I recently rewatched the first part of it. I still need to get around to rewatching the second part.
Okay.
But those are very good. You could actually, you know what? We we can talk about our next week podcast schedule later. No one needs to listen to that. Yeah, these movies were great, very cute. I need to watch the Ewoks cartoon. I just because like I
I
finished
need to do
these
that
and I
too.
was like, I need to watch a cartoon now because that's cute. And now it's finals week. So
It is finals.
that
Yeah.
is on the back burner for a little bit now.
Yeah.
I mean, I have like after finals are over, I have like a week until my job opens up again.
Hmm.
So I'll have some downtime to do stuff like that. So I'll probably do that.
That's good.
Yeah. So watch the Ewoks cartoon. We do have Bad Batch to look forward to in the very near future, in a little over a week from now. So that's exciting. On May 4th.
I have one more final to do, and then I have work all throughout the week, which sucks. But it's okay.
I did my one final presentation and I wrote one of my final papers. I still have 2 more final papers to write, 2 more exams, and a final project.
That sounds so fun. I'm so
Oh.
excited for you.
Very much, very excited. Yeah, so that was that. What else Star Wars? I read The Legends of Luke Skywalker today.
How was that?
Because one of my classes was canceled. It's our last day of classes, and I read it, and it's very good. Oh my god, it's crazy. I love it. It's I have a book review almost done for it that I'll probably post tonight. It's great. The first story is so funny because it's like a conspiracy theorist in Star Wars. Oh my god, it's crazy. Let me see. It's nuts. I love it. There's one. No, so she starts off by saying Admiral Akbar isn't real. He is a droid wearing Mon Calamari skin.
Oh.
Who was created by the Rebel Alliance because they wanted to have a handsome looking heroic general with a nice story to inspire people, because according to her, she said, all right, here's a quote. My guess is that Mon Mothma, Leia Organa, Jan Dodonna, and the rest of them had a whole group of strategists and thinkers in some windowless hideout working for them, like most engineers do. Blah, blah, blah. But she says many of them probably aren't the photogenic type, so that's why they made up Admiral Akbar.
Because he's so photogenic.
Such a pretty face.
Oh my god.
And then she also says that Luke Skywalker is not real.
You know what? I don't think he's real either.
No, but like in the universe, Luke Skywalker is actually some kid who was named Luke Claude Potter, who was some lazy guy who joined a gang with the gang he was in was with Benny O'Kenobi, Hansel Shooter, Shaggy the Wookiee, and that was it.
Hey, this is what I would expect from like the people that are like, you're not a real Star Wars fan. I'm going to remake the movies. That's what I would expect from them.
It's so funny. And it's like, it's I can't explain the whole thing. You just have to read it because it's so crazy. But she's explaining how like
what is
they
it?
pulled
Is it a
off
comic or
it's a book, and it's like there's 6 different stories in it, and each story is like a different legend that's told about Luke Skywalker.
What is it called?
The Legends of Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's so nuts.
Because that's something I would read.
Oh my god, it's great. I read it in one sitting. It's great. But I read a lot of books.
That small or
no, it's 425 pages. I'm just crazy.
Okay.
I read
So I'm gonna finish that in like 2 months.
I read Light of the Jedi in one sitting, and that book's like crazy.
That's also a pretty big book. Not a big book, but like it's there.
I have problems. But yeah, she talks about like this lady talks about like this whole con they pulled off where they pretend that Luke was a Jedi and like would like fake all the different tricks and stuff. And then they got captured by the rebellion because the rebellion wanted to show the galaxy that they would punish criminals like the Empire does. But then they tricked Leia with their con and were like, no, we can help you pull a big con. Oh, this is the other thing. This person believes that the Death Star was faked by the Empire.
Yes, I think so too.
Right? She thinks they just fake the Death Star because she's like,
I can't.
It's a literal conspiracy theorist in Star Wars.
Okay, but like I can't tell whether to laugh or like, unfortunately, like compare it to real life people who think like this.
Right?
And
it's
so, like
it's so crazy. So like it's really funny though. Like if things happen the way this lady says it did, like I would watch that movie because it's really funny. But like, so the Death Star was fake, not real. Like she says, like
who's
they
the
blew
author? Sorry.
So the author of the book, like in real life?
Yeah. Yes.
Ken Liu. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. And like, so she says that they did destroy Alderaan. They used missiles at the fracture points of the plates of the planet or whatever. So to blow up Alderaan. So like Alderaan's real, but the Death Star is faked. So then the rebellion found out the Death Star was fake and then faked the Battle of Yavin. Like they filmed a fake Battle of Yavin to release into the public. And so then they released it, and then the Empire couldn't say that their thing was fake because then they'd have to admit the Death Star was fake. So that's how they got away with it. It's so like crazy conspiracy theory complicated. It's so funny. Like,
Hmm.
then there's something else too. It's crazy. Yeah, it's a great book. That's just the first story. There's another story told from the perspective of a flea that was in Luke's hair while he fought the Rancor. It's great. It's like, I know that sounds
Luke needs
ridiculous,
to
but it's
wash his
actually
hair.
a really good story. Oh no,
It
because
sounds like it.
the flea was there on purpose because the flea made friends with Leia while she was chained to Jabba.
Oh,
flea was-
gotcha.
Because the
Gotcha.
flea,
I understand.
because the flea lived on Salacious Crumb's head because Salacious Crumb's really stupid. So the flea would
Mhm.
sit on his ear and feed him jokes so that he would be a good comedian.
Same.
So, and it's like, and the flea would bite his head at different points to get him to move for physical comedy. It was like Ratatouille.
Gotcha. That makes so much sense.
It's a really good book. Okay, and then
I really want to read it
so
now,
great.
but I'm
It's
just
amazing.
like, what?
And and then also she says, and this is my favorite line in this whole story. She says, speaking of Naboo sardine fritters, that's what she was eating. She said, did you know that Senator Jar Jar Binks and Lord Vader were the same person?
They were the same person. See, I've been telling everyone.
Yes. But the best part is while she's telling this story, Luke Skywalker is sitting there listening. He buys her dinner to get her to tell the story because he's like, I have to hear the story about this Luke Skywalker person.
Oh my
I
God,
need to
yes.
know." And it's so great. And she like, there's one part where she's like, oh, I bet Luke was so lazy. She said, we know from multiple sources that he often went to Tashi Station on Tatooine for power converters. And she's like, I bet that kid was so lazy. You don't need to buy power converters that much. She was like, he was probably just using that as an excuse to go waste time with his similarly lazy friends. And it's not Luke, it's the hooded man, the stranger. He goes, I guess I know someone who would agree with you on that. And it's like, oh, he's talking about Uncle Owen. But it's so funny. It's such a great book. I love it. I just read it today.
See, now it makes it more interesting that like Luke is actually there.
Right, yeah, no,
listening to this.
Luke's there. And yeah, it's great. And there's another really I won't spoil, but there's another really good book, and it's told from the perspective of a droid. And it's like kind of sad but really sweet at the same time.
Which one?
It's from the same book. One of the
Oh, okay.
stories.
Oh, they're different stories. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's a really great time.
I think it's time for a trip to Barnes and Noble again.
Yeah, this book is so crazy. I can't believe it took me this long to read it. It's great. It's so great.
I believe you. And I will read that. I will go and get it, and then we will read it, and then podcast about it.
Yes, it's great. Oh, and there's art of the
good.
The things. So there's art. There's a piece of art of Luke doing a con faking being a Jedi for the first story.
Makes sense.
There's
Yes.
art in it. It's so good. It's so freaking funny. Yeah. And then there's like a really sad one in it too. But it's very good.
Sad conspiracy theories.
Yeah, the conspiracy theory one is so good. And it's like, I would listen to that lady's podcast.
I would probably too, but like it just I need to like make sure I'm not comparing it to like just normal people in real life that make conspiracy theories like this.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna make sure to like step away from that and just listen. And just be like Luke and just listen.
It's really funny. It's so great. Yeah. Yeah, The Legends of Luke Skywalker. Worth it. Very worth it.
Thank you.
Very good book. Very funny. And it's like I said, it's 425 pages, but don't let that scare you because it's like kind of small and the text is big and spaced out. Like it's not like
and then they're separate stories anyway.
yeah, and it's like
So I
divided
could
by
just-
art. Well, because there's like the 6 stories, but then there's also like in between each story, it's like this group of like crew members on a ship who are like telling the stories to each other and stuff.
Mhm.
And so it's like, and that's like its own kind of story, like it's connected and like going through the whole thing.
Right.
And they're on they're a group of people who are like on a ship on the way to Canto Bight because this book was released before Last Jedi, so you need to like tie it in. Oh, they're like delivering fathiers, like a shipment of fathiers.
Fathiers.
Great book, great time. Okay,
What
that's
is a great time?
enough. Legends of Luke Skywalker talk.
Thank you for that.
Pick up that book. It's good.
I think that's
That's a podcast.
I think that is a podcast.
Yeah, so we'll do plugs. On Star Wars Facebook, we're Star Wars Geek Girl. On Twitter and Instagram at SW Geek Girl. Then StarWarsGeekGirl.com. You can read that book review I was talking about for this book that I'm gonna post when I'm almost done. But then I also do a quiz every Wednesday. This week you can find out which species you are.
Epic.
The week before you can find out how well you know High Republic Jedi. Before that, you can find out which member of the Bad Batch is your soulmate, because that's really topical.
Ooh,
Um,
I'll do that.
Jonah got Hunter in a surprise to nobody.
Oh, I think that was. I think she might have.
Your dad also got Hunter, if that says anything.
My dad. Sometimes he just marries himself, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, but tons of things to do on there. We are doing a giveaway for a clone helmet, a Captain Keeley helmet. Currently, that's running up to May 4th is the last day you can submit for that. So you can go to StarWarsGeekGirl.com to learn about that and put in for a free clone helmet, because do it. It's a free clone helmet. And also, we have a poll going on right now to see who is everyone's favorite member of the Bad Batch. And that will end this Friday, because it's a monthly poll. So if you feel very strongly about a certain member of the Bad Batch, you should vote for them. Or even if you don't, if you just want to vote for like whoever. Yes. So yeah, that's Star Wars Geek Girl stuff. Doing new Rogue Rebel stuff.
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
Do you want to do Rogue Rebels plugs?
Right. I was like waiting and then my brain malfunctioned. Okay. So for the Rogue Rebels, you can find us wherever you find Star Wars Geek Girl. Instagram is at the Rogue Rebels, Twitter at Rogue Rebels Fam. Twitch for my dad, if you want to see him starve his people.
Or play Battlefront. He's good at Battlefront.
He is good at Battlefront. At Rogue Rebels.
Whenever he kills someone, he'll like do an emote. But like sometimes he gets attacked while he's doing the emote, and I'm
he
like,
does that all the time.
Like,
and I'm like,
stop.
stop.
Like it's okay to sometimes, but like there's another enemy right there, and he does the emote, and I'm like, stop.
That's the thing, is he knows that there's another enemy, but he's like, I gotta emote. I'm like, stop. Just kill the other person, then emote. But yeah. TikTok at the Rogue Rebels and our website, theroguerebels.com. You can see my dad posting a bunch of things about costuming, and he also does book reviews and podcasts and stuff. He's cool. I think he recently did a podcast with Haas, or it's either coming up. Can't remember. I usually get calls from him. He's like, I'm gonna do a podcast with Haas sometime. I'm like, oh cool. He's like, okay, bye. I'm like, okay.
That's it. That's a whole phone call.
Well, not really. Usually there's like, I'll call him to say hi, and I love this. Which is why I call him. I forget that he's gonna listen to this, but it's fine. Like, I call him and I'm like, hey, how are you? And he's like, so this thing happened in Star Wars, and it'll be like an hour of just talking about Star Wars. And I'm like,
You
this
just
is
need to
nice.
record
I
that.
kind of really miss this.
Record that
Yeah,
and free
record that for a
podcast.
podcast.
Free podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's cool.
I forgot to also mention that I recently did a podcast. There's a podcast called The Forces Behind Star Wars, and they invited my dad and I on, and we talked with them, and it was really fun and really great. Those
when is
guys
that
are
coming
great.
out?
That is out.
Okay.
So you can listen to that. That was a fun time. We talked about different families in Star Wars, which, great. And it's actually kind of cool because one of the hosts, I like months ago, we were at like an armor party, not months, a year ago. Oh my God, over a year ago, we were at an armor party, and one of the hosts, he was talking to me. He was like talking about like, yeah, I think I should start a podcast, but I don't know. And I was like, no, you got to do it. And then like now I was on his podcast, which is fun. So yeah, you can listen to that there. It's a good time. Yeah, I want to plug that. I forgot. And that's it. That's all our plugs.
Yeah.
So thank you. Depending on how we do things next week, we may or may not be talking about Bad Batch when that comes out next week or not.
Hopefully.
We'll see just when we record. Thank you again, Lizzy, for showing up. Sorry, last week didn't work out. Just, college and life.
Yeah, life is a lot. So is college. It's almost done. Almost done for a few days, and then go back to it.
I have a couple months off, but
I don't.
yeah, your school works. You guys like dogs.
Yeah, I went to the nurse. Not even to the nurses. So I was out pretty bad for after getting the vaccine. I went to urgent care, and like, they sat me down. They were like, oh, what do you need? And I was like, oh, I need to get this tested and this. And then they were like, are you from CIA? And I was like, yeah, because like I still have my half my uniform on. And they're like, they work you guys so hard. I see you guys in here all the time. And I'm like, that's not good. That's not good at all. But yeah. So we're technically our spring break is only like 3 days, and but my class ends on the Wednesday, so like I technically get like 5-ish days, but I get the vaccine on Sunday, but then I have classes the next day, so we'll see what happens.
I got my first shot this past Saturday.
How do you feel?
I felt fine. I felt my arm hurt a little bit that night and I had a headache, but then Sunday I felt totally fine. Today I feel totally fine. I got Moderna. I don't know which one you got, but I know from what I've heard. Yeah, from what I've heard from other people, Moderna is like the first shot is nothing, and then the second shot can like wipe you out. So,
Okay.
We'll see how that goes for me in a couple weeks. But I felt totally fine with Moderna. Yeah. Yeah, get vaccinated if you can, everyone.
Yes, please get vaccinated.
I know it's very independent.
Be careful. Don't get the Johnson one.
Yeah, I mean, that one's, they're not distributing that anymore. My mom got that one because that was the one they gave teachers in Pennsylvania. So when it all came out about it, my mom was like, of course that's the one they gave teachers.
Yeah, that sucks.
She didn't really, I mean, she had, the general side effects of like, man, this sucks, but like, she's feeling fine. It all worked for her.
That's
so
good.
That's good.
I went with a friend, and then also like my roommate and their friend went to go get it. We all got Pfizer. And like, my roommate kind of like had a fever for a bit. But she was like fine. Her throat was a little swollen, but like she was like okay, and her friend had like a headache for like 2 or 3 days, and then I just got hit really hard, and I like had a really, really sore throat. Like my tonsils were like very inflamed, and like I had a fever every day, and it would drop and then it would come up. I was shaking so bad. It was Yeah, it was sad. So
Yeah.
I might die for the second dose, but it's okay.
I didn't get anything. Honestly. Like my arm hurt, but like that was it. I was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but everyone should get vaccinated.
yeah, get it
Because
as,
that's
as
good.
soon as you can. I know it's very area dependent on where you are. I know
Yeah.
some people in some states or countries are having a much harder time getting it than others. But definitely make an effort and try to get it as soon as you can.
The
So we
whole
can.
other Rogue Rebels fam has it, except Axel because he's not 16 yet. That's how it is in California.
I
So
know,
like
yeah.
grandma, uncle, mom, and dad have it, just not Axel because he is small.
Yeah. I think most places, I know at least definitely Pennsylvania, it's not for under 16. Yeah, I know Safi, because I remember because I scheduled mine at Rite Aid. Because they were giving Moderna there, but Safi couldn't get hers there because you can't have Moderna if you're under 18. So she had to get Pfizer somewhere else. So there's like a
Wait, how old is Safi?
she's 17.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just don't remember.
Brain farts. Okay.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they at the mall near us, one of the big like department stores closed down, so they converted it into a vaccine center because like you have all this big empty space. So pretty smart. And then you can do your shopping.
Yeah, epic.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Get vaccinated as soon as you can. If you can, if you're immunocompromised and your doctor tells you not to, don't do it just because we told you to. Don't.
Yeah,
listen.
don't do that.
But besides that, get it when you can. Yeah, that's it. That's the podcast.
That is a
Figure out what we're doing
podcast.
next week. Thank you so much for listening. We already did the plugs. I was Zoe.
I was Lizzy.
Thank you for listening to Star Wars Geek Girl. May the force be with you, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Star Wars Geek Girls. They're geek girls that like Star Wars. And sometimes cry.